Ever thought about owning an investment property in Canada's stunning Rocky Mountains? One that could help pay for itself? Imagine listing it on both Airbnb and VRBO and turning your love for the Rockies into a smart investment. Well, today we're diving into one of the hottest trends in Canmore real estate, buying a property to list on platforms like Airbnb and VRBO right here in the heart of Alberta's Rocky Mountains. By the end of this video, you'll know why Canmore is such a hotspot for short-term rentals, how zoning rules affect your options, the types of properties available, potential earnings, cost, management choices, financing options, and some great insider tips to help you succeed. So, if you've been dreaming about owning a mountain property and investing in the short-term rental market, then this video is for you. And let's get started right now. Welcome back to Alberta Mountain Living. If you're new here, this channel is all about living your best life in Alberta's beautiful mountain towns. So, if you're into exploring stunning mountain towns and finding the best places to live and invest, from Canmore and Banff to Cochrane and Calgary, then be sure to subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications for more amazing content. My name is Peter Mejia, and I'm your go-to realtor for Alberta Mountain Living. And we get calls every day from people just like you, so whether you're moving in a couple of days, weeks, or months, feel free to reach out. All of our contact information is in the description. You can reach out via text, call, email, or our favorite, schedule a Zoom. And we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Alberta's Rocky Mountains. Now, let's dive in. When we say Airbnb, we're really talking about short-term rental properties, a general term that covers Airbnb and other platforms like VRBO. Let's start with why Canmore has become one of the most attractive destinations for short-term rental investments. First off, it's a year-round playground. The winter brings skiers and snowboarders, while summer attracts hikers, mountain bikers, and climbers. And let's not forget about the many events and festivals that make Canmore an amazing place to live. They are so good that I have an entire episode dedicated to the top 3 summer events and festivals in Canmore on our channel. So be sure to check it out. Canmore is just over an hour's drive from Calgary and only 20 minutes from the town of Banff. So you've got a constant stream of visitors. In fact, Canmore even earned a spot on the list of the top 10 Airbnb markets in Canada, according to AirDNA this year. Now, buying an investment property around here has its own things to think about. One of the first things you need to know before jumping into buying a short-term rental investment is zoning regulations. In Canmore, you can't just set up an Airbnb or a VRBO anywhere. There are specific areas where it's allowed. This helps keep the community vibe in check and helps manage housing availability. So knowing the zoning of a property before you buy is critical. There are 3 types of zoning in Canmore: residential, visitor accommodation, and tourist home. Residential is the most common type of zoning, but it doesn't allow for short-term rentals. You can either live in the property or rent it out long-term, but no Airbnb or VRBO action here. Visitor accommodation is the main zoning for short-term rentals. Properties labeled as visitor accommodation can be used for Airbnb and VRBO rentals. You might see these properties called hotel condos or commercial properties, but they're officially categorized as visitor accommodation for both zoning and tax purposes. And finally, we have tourist home zone properties. These are basically what you get if residential zoning and visitor accommodation had a baby. Tourist homes give you the best of both worlds with tons of flexibility. You can use them as short-term rentals, long-term rentals, or make them your full-time residence. They're popular but less common, which means they often come with a higher price tag. In tourist home zone properties, you need to let the town know every year if you're renting out your place or living in it full-time. If you decide to live there full-time, the property can be reclassified as a residential tourist home, which comes with a nice tax break. But there's a catch. You can't flip-flop between the two during the year. Once you choose, that designation sticks for the entire year. Even if you short-term rent a property for just one night, it will still require the higher rental zoning and come with the higher tax rate. So as you can see, zoning really sets the stage for short-term rental investments in Canmore. If you're thinking about investing here, feel free to reach out. I can help you navigate the zoning process and find a property that suits your investment goals. Whether this is your first investment or you're adding to your portfolio, let's make it happen. Now that we've covered why Canmore is such a hot spot and how zoning plays into it, let's get into the part you've been waiting for: how much money you can actually make. And that is the big question. How much can you really earn from a short-term rental in Canmore? Well, it does depend on a few things, like where your property is, what type of place you've got, and how you manage it. But let's start with the biggest moneymaker: peak seasons. In Canmore, you've got two big windows for high demand bookings: summer and winter. During June, July, and August, the town is buzzing with hikers, mountain bikers, and visitors soaking up those mountain views. Properties near downtown or trails are likely fully booked and a top dollar. Then, when December and January rolled around, Canmore turns into a winter wonderland. Ski season kicks in, bringing in snow lovers from all over, which means another golden opportunity to rake in those high rental income. If you play your cards right, during these peak times, you could cover a huge chunk of your yearly expenses and maybe even more. For example, a 2-bedroom condo in a prime spot could go for $500 to $800 per night during summer weekends. Multiply that by consistent bookings over the high season, and you're looking at some serious revenue. So let's talk actual numbers. After chatting with local property management companies, here is what short-term rental owners can expect in gross annual revenue. Studios typically bring in $45,000 to $55,000, but with a hot location and amenities, they could even make up to $65,000. For a 1-bedroom, the range is $50,000 to $60,000, with the potential to hit $80,000 if it's managed well. A 2-bedroom property averages between $75,000 and $85,000, but could pull in as much as $120,000 if it's in high demand. A 3-bedroom property typically earns between $100,000 and $130,000 annually, but it has the potential to bring in as much as $180,000 if it includes extra sleeping options, like a couple of pull-out couches, allowing you to accommodate up to 10 guests. It's important to know that these numbers are based in nightly rates only and don't include cleaning fees. Cleaning fees are those extra charges the guests pay on top of the nightly rate when they book. Some people might include those fees to make the revenue totals look bigger, but since that money goes straight to cleaning costs, it's not actual income for you. These figures focus on the income from the nightly rates alone. Want to aim for the higher end of those numbers? Here's a tip: private hot tubs are a game changer. Guests love them, and you can seriously boost your revenue. While peak seasons are the big money makers, the shoulder seasons, spring and fall, shouldn't be overlooked. Canmore still draws a steady stream of visitors. Whether they're chasing outdoor adventures or looking for a peaceful mountain retreat, rates might dip slightly, but they're still competitive, especially if your property has unique perks, like that hot tub we were mentioning, mountain views, or a cozy fireplace. The real key to keeping your revenue strong year-round is making sure that your property stays booked, even during slower periods. High-quality photos, quick replies to inquiries, and giving your guests an awesome experience will help your place stand out and keep those bookings coming in. Now, let's dive into the cost of buying and running a short-term rental property. Real estate here isn't cheap, so it's good to be ready for the price tag. Prices can vary a lot depending on the location, size, and type of property you're looking for. And because the demand for short-term rentals is high, you can expect to pay a premium for the right spot. As a real estate professional, I stay on top of the local market. Here is a breakdown of what properties sold over the past 12 months. A one-bedroom unit averaged about $640,000 with 21 sold in the past year. A two-bedroom property came in at around $836,000 with 40 sales recorded. For three-bedroom units, the average price jumped significantly to $1.53 million, though only 6 of these properties were sold. And for those eyeing larger properties, 4-bedroom homes have crossed the $2 million mark with 7 sold in the past year. Now that we've gone over purchase prices, let's talk about some of the additional costs of owning a short-term rental. It's not just about the price of the property, there are ongoing fees to consider. And let's break them down so you're fully prepared. First, let's talk about condo fees. These cover shared amenities, exterior maintenance, and in most places, utilities, though electricity is often billed separately. If the property comes with luxury features like pools, gyms, or those breathtaking mountain views, the condo fees will reflect that. Understanding what's included in these fees is critical for budgeting and planning your investment. When you work with me, I'll help you get a clear picture of these fees and how they fit into your overall investment plan. Being transparent is key to making smart choices. Then, there is property tax and insurance. Did you know that Airbnb properties are taxed at a higher commercial rate? It's an important detail to check before finalizing your purchase. And because these properties are used for business, rental property insurance tends to cost more than traditional home insurance. Owning a short-term rental can be a fantastic investment, but knowing all of the costs involved will set you up for success. Now, let's discuss an important decision. Who will manage the property? This choice can greatly impact your experience as an investor. So let's break it down into the 3 common options: self-managing, hiring a property management company, or using an in-house rental pool if available. First, self-managing. This option gives you full control over everything, including pricing, bookings, guest communication, cleaning, and maintenance. It's a hands-on approach that allows you to save on management fees, which can be substantial. However, it does require a significant amount of time, effort, and the ability to handle unexpected situations. Imagine getting a call about a broken heater in the dead of winter. It could mean scrambling for a repair service at 2 a.m. Oh, and by the way, I have the contact of a 24-hour repair service in Canmore, so I've got you covered. If you live locally, self-managing may be a realistic option. Many owners find it rewarding to connect with guests and receive feedback on what they appreciate, which can help you stand out from the competitors. Number 2, let's talk about hiring a property management company. If you don't live close to Canmore or just want a more hands-off experience, this could be a great option for you. These companies usually charge between 18 to 30% of your rental income and take care of things like talking to guests, marketing your property, and arranging cleaning and maintenance. Here's something to keep in mind though. Companies that charge lower fees might not include much in their basic packages and could charge extra for small tasks like changing a light bulb or refilling your coffee. On the flip side, companies with higher fees often offer more all-inclusive services, covering those little details without any additional costs. If you're interested, I have contacts for reliable property management companies and would be happy to share them with you. Feel free to reach out. My contact info is in the description. And finally, we have the in-house rental pool management option, which is unique to complexes with a front desk and staff where properties operate more like hotels. Some of these complexes require you to use their on-site rental management company that would manage the rental of your unit, taking care of bookings, cleaning, and maintenance, and taking a share of the revenue, but usually as high as 40 to 60%. Let's talk about financing options for Airbnb properties in Canmore. Getting the right funding is super important for any investment, but short-term rentals come with their own unique considerations. First, the zoning laws we discussed earlier are a big factor. Not every property in Canmore can be used for short-term rentals, so it's crucial to understand these regulations before jumping into the financing part. When it comes to financing a short-term rental in Canmore, most lenders will ask for a down payment between 20 and 35%. And that's because these type of properties are considered commercial properties. So, while you might find a lender for a property in the right zone, keep in mind that your upfront investment will be higher. There are local lenders in Canmore who specialize in financing short-term rental properties. They understand the local market and the zoning rules that can impact how much money you can make from your property. Plus, they can offer mortgage options that really fit your needs. But the right lender can make all the difference. And I've got connections to help you find one who really gets this market. If you're looking for recommendations on lenders, let me know. I can share the contact details of some great local options. Short-term rentals are super popular in Canmore right now. A lot of owners hit it big with their first property and then look to buy more, which just increases demand even more. Right now, there are 2,700 active short-term rentals, with another 1,500 expected to hit the market in the next 3 to 5 years. The market is thriving and shows no signs of slowing down. Whenever new projects launch, they sell out often on the first day. And that's why being prepared and working with someone who knows the market is so important. My brokerage is the go-to team for launching sales in short-term rental zoned reconstruction developments. We often get involved in making these sales happen even before they hit the MLS. Typically, it takes about 2 years from when we launch the sales to when the building is finished and ready for owners to start renting them out. Investing in a Canmore Airbnb property can be an exciting opportunity, but it's important to keep all of these factors in mind. There is a lot to juggle: financing, property management, operational costs, and zoning laws. So, making informed decisions is key. But don't worry, you don't have to figure everything out on your own. With some planning and the right help, you can make smart choices and set yourself up for success. And that's where I come in. As a local real estate professional, I'm here to guide you through the whole process, help you navigate the market, and ensure you're making the right moves for your investment. Whether you have questions, need advice, or are in the hunt for the perfect property, I'm here to support you every step of the way. Owning a short-term rental in Canmore isn't just an investment. It's a chance to be part of this incredible mountain community. Whether it's for extra income or your own escape to the Rockies, it's a lifestyle you won't regret. I hope you learned a lot about purchasing an investment property in Canmore and the Bow Valley. If you're ready for the next step, give me a call, shoot me a text, or schedule a Zoom. Let's make your dream property a reality. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos about living your best life in Alberta's mountain towns. Comment below with any questions or topics you'd like to see me cover in future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep living that mountain life.